Hello everyone. Welcome to your easy guide to English section, and today we are going to start with synonyms and antonyms from the vocabulary based questions module. So there couldn't be a better day to start this because I have pulled an all-nighter today. I had some deadlines to meet, some projects to finish, and so I think I am in that rush. I can relate to you guys a little because in the preparation I can imagine if you guys are seriously preparing, you might have had several nights where you might have had to pull all nighters. That's not the healthiest choice, but I don't know, preparation phases like that. Sometimes you have to do that. So, yeah, I mean, the rush is quite well, and doing something as dense as synonyms and antonyms is going to be fun. So, I hope I am able to transfer this energy to you guys listening to this video, and we are together able to have some fun while learning some new words. Okay. So let's start with the first word, that is apparent. So when something is apparent, it's clear. So is it apparent for my face that I am tired? No, I am not. I've had a mug full of coffee. I'm not. So is it evident? Is it obvious? Is it perceptible? These are the synonyms for the word apparent. Evident, obvious, perceptible, distinct. Now, what are the antonyms? The word opposite in meaning to the word apparent. Masked. Of course, something behind mask is hidden, so it is not clear. Obscure. Indistinct. If distinct is apparent, then indistinct is a clearly an antonym. And doubtful. Again, something doubtful is not clear, and hence it's an antonym. So it was apparent from his face that he hadn't studied. That panic, totally obvious. So if someone has not studied, a teacher can very much see from their face when they are looking at the question paper and they cannot figure out any question. So it's obvious on their face. So it's apparent on their face. Allure. Now, allure means something that is quite mysterious and yet attractive. So the synonyms for the words would be entice, fascinate, tempt, seduce, and the antonyms would be to repulse. It's like you just feel very driven away by that, just repulsed by it, you're repelled by it, you're deterred, distasteful. So allure could, you can think of, for example, the perfume ads that are made. I don't know, the ads are very stupid, but they very well fit into the meaning of this word. That the moment somebody not the perfume but the deodorant, moment somebody sprays that deodorant, people are the girls are magically attracted towards that person. So that word allure can be used in place of magically attracted. So the girls are allured towards that person who wears that stupid deodorant. So the allure, magical, just the from the word, try to recall a magical perfume ad. So just try to put that image to the word allure, entice, fascinate, tempt, seduce. Okay, abortive. Now you've heard about the word abortion. It's very much, it's very frequent in newspapers. There was this whole abortion debate in USA also. So abortive means something that has failed. So to abort is to fail something, to abandon something. So some of the synonyms for this word would be vain, useless, fruitless, unproductive. And the antonyms would be effectual, productive, successful, and progressive. Of course, something that has failed is abortive, then something that is successful and progressive would be the antonym for it. So a mission has been aborted means that it has been abandoned, it did not take off, it has been like it has been given up on. Okay, so it is not being continued anymore. Abortive. Abominable. An abominable snowman. So the word itself feels very scary. Abominable. So something that is scary and huge and scary kind of thing. So some of the synonyms would be odious, detestable, repugnant, aversion, and the antonyms, of course, likable, pleasant, affectionate, and enjoyable. So the word abominable from the pronunciation itself it feels like bomb, though it's negative, something scary. Okay. So his abominable behavior at dinner shocked everyone. So his uh, weird and bad behavior sort of at dinner shocked everyone. Okay. Allaying. You're scared and your friends say, don't worry, I'm here. That's allaying your fear. So reducing or pacifying you. Pacifying means to uh, generate peace thoughts in you, or to put you at peace, something like that. So like allaying your fears would put you at peace. No, it will soothe you, it will lighten your feelings or your fear. So the synonyms for LA would be pacify, soothe, lighten, or assuage. Assuage your fears, to drive away your fears, to uh, downgrade your fears, sort of. And the antonyms would be to aggravate, heighten, agitate, excite. All these words mean to increase. So somebody saying allay your fear means to reduce your fear, to pacify you, to help you in calming down in any tense situation. So LA rhymes with delay, and delay you can say delays the panic, sort of, that we can remember. LA delay panic. LA delay panic. Okay. Axiom. You might have come across this word in your mathematics book. I can assume, I would like to assume that. So, an axiom is a truth so obvious that you don't even question it. So, it's almost like a theory that you believe in it. So, like sun rises in the east, you don't question it because it's a theory. I mean, I don't know. Long back, some scientists, Aristotle or some people have proven it. For their time, maybe it was not an axiom. For us, it's an obvious truth taken as it is. So the synonym for the word axiom would be maxim, saying, dictum, truth. And the antonyms would be absurdity, blunder, ridiculousness, irrelevant, something like that. So an axiom is a truth you accept automatically. So you can remember it like that. Axiom, automatic truth, something like that. Assiduous. So imagine a student who studies every day without fail. So that's an assiduous, somebody who's very sincere in his or her efforts. So assiduous efforts would be very sincere, consistent, diligent, attentive efforts. So that's assiduous. So assiduous you can remember by thinking that you need to put in assiduous efforts. I don't know. If like assiduous, I don't know. Okay, just think of something on your own. So assiduous means somebody who's very persistent in her or in his or her efforts. So the antonym would be somebody who's indifferent, careless, indolent, or lethargic. So that would be the antonyms. Assiduous efforts. Abjure. To abjure is to say I quit. So you might have heard of this word in fundamental duties, to abjure violence. That's one of the fundamental duties. So the synonym would be to forsake, to give up, to renounce, retract, revoke. So to abjure means to give up, to quit something. So the antonym for this word would be to approve, to sanction, patronize, or adopt, to sort of allow something. That would be the antonym for this word. So she abjured her old beliefs after a powerful experience. So she gave up her old beliefs. So maybe she believed that speaking lies in some situations is okay, but then she had some powerful experience and she realized no, this can have very terrible consequences. And she gave up her old belief of lying in some situations. So she gave up. She abjured. To abjure is to give up. Okay, to say I quit. Abject, the word is, I mean, in my life, if I have used this word, 99% of the times it is used with the word poverty. So you can remember abject with poverty. So it's the worst kind. So abject means the worst kind. So despicable, servile, base, contemptible, these are the words that are synonymous to the word abject. So the antonym would be exalted, commendable, praiseworthy, imposing. So abject, say you can remember reject. So something that is absolutely rejected. That's the worst kind. So abject poverty, the worst kind of poverty. Okay. Aversion. If you run from bitter gourd, you have an aversion. We have done this word in synonyms of the previous words. So something for which you have great dislike, your aversion, like you're just driven by it. You just so hate it so much. So hatred, dislike, indifference, apathy. The antonyms would be affectionate, fondness, niceness, liking. So of course, if aversion is hatred, the fondness and liking would be the antonym. So aversion is when you turn away in disgust, like you just avert it, like you can't even look at it. So just turn away in disgust. That's aversion. Authentic is, I think, it's fairly simple word. You can think of the original, like in your Gen Z lingo, OG. That's authentic. It's the real deal. So genuine, reliable, valid, guaranteed, these are the words that are synonymous with the word authentic. So the antonyms would be fictitious, counterfeit, unreal, or false. So the signature was tested and it's 100% authentic. That means it's 100% genuine. Now, audacity. So audacity is like saying, how do you have guts? Audacity means guts or the like boldness. So imagine walking to your principal's office and demanding a holiday. Sir, I want a holiday. That would be like guts. You require guts to do something like that. You have to have that boldness. So the synonym would be boldness, even arrogance, insolence, haughtiness. So all these words. Antonyms would be mildness, humility, cowardice, or submission. So the audacity starts with awe, so it shocks every people. Awe. It's not like awe. Don't be confused with that awe. It's awe. You awe of somebody. You're like shock, sort of that. So audacity you can remember with Audi, and with Audi you need to have like that confident personality. You have to have that boldness. Then only you can drive Audi in the city. So audacity. Okay, bold. Astute. Astute means clever, sharp. So with astute, you can always remember Sherlock Holmes. He's an astute observer. So the synonyms for this word could be intelligent, clever, wise, brilliant, and the antonyms, of course, then unintelligent, dull, shallow. So her astute observation cracked the case. That means her very clever observation. We are all looking around and we can all see. I can look at my laptop, I can look at my cell phone, I can look at a mug, you can look at a maybe a laptop too. So these are observations. But astute observations means that if you can maybe look at this video and try to find something about, I don't know, my surrounding. I don't know why I'm giving you that clue, but okay. So that would be an astute observation. That would be a clever observation. So astute. You can maybe just try to remember this word with Sherlock Holmes. Astute. Very, very clever and intelligent. Okay. A better. And a better is a sidekick in crime. So he's not the main villain, but like helping kind of person. So a better. So synonyms would be assistant, accomplice, colleague, or associate, sort of that. Somebody who is a sidekick, not the main villain. Now, the antonyms would be opponent, adversary, antagonist, rival. So, a better helps you bet on trouble. So, the person who is doing action is the main person, and somebody who is just betting on it. Array, I know he will be able to do it. So, this better. Now, this is only a way to remember. That's not the origin, or that's not how this word is framed. I am just trying to help you remember this word. So, a better, the one who is betting from the side of the main villain. So he's the sidekick, a better sidekick, apathy. So pathy is a word which means feeling. So apathy, sympathy, antipathy, all these words are associated with feeling. So sim is like having those feelings when you sympathize with somebody, you can understand their feeling. Apathy, anything with a is say anti. So anything with a is not having, absence of something. So apathy is no feeling. Okay. So the synonyms would be unconcerned, indifferent, insensitivity, aloofness, and the antonyms would be concerned, caring, anxiety. Anxiety not so much, but you're just feeling so anxious, so you're full of feelings, so something like that. But it's not a very clear cut antonym for it. Eagerness, sort of. So these are all just feelings, full of feelings. And apathy is no feeling. Is absence, and pathy is feeling. Apathy, sympathy, antipathy, all these things. They are all pathy means feeling. Pathy is from the word pathos. Okay. Now alien. You all know PK, that person, alien, but that's not the only alien. The word alien was devised during the like Greek period and all. So it was used for the foreigners at that time, because that time world was not so interconnected that you would understand the person. Like even person coming from a different country or from a different region felt like an alien from a different planet. So this word alien was used for the foreigners or outsiders also. Even in the legal terminologies, the word alien is used for a foreigner or an outsider, a stranger, an immigrant. So these are the synonyms. And the antonym would be, if alien is outsider, the antonym would be native, citizen, resident, occupant. So all those words. Alien, I mean, you can think of PK, and then you will come across this word in your legal terminology. So I'm sure you'll remember it. Acrimony. So it means bitter or harsh behavior. So acrimonious, acrimony. Acri is a like it means something negative. It always means something negative. So bitter or harsh behavior. The synonyms would be harshness, bitterness, inhuman behavior, enmity, all those things. And antonyms, of course, if something is acrimony, is bad, so antonym would be sweetness, courtesy. So being courteous means being very good in your manners. You being very courteous to somebody, you being very generous and nice to them. Humanity is okay, sort of. You like, for the sake of somebody saying, for the sake of humanity you should do it, that means for this, like, good feelings you have for the human beings. Benevolence, again, bene is a positive word, and male, if it were the word malevolence, so it would have meant negative, negative feeling. So benevolence, benefactor, benevolence, bene is again a positive suffix. So whenever the word bene is there, it has to have some positive feeling. Benevolence is positive feelings for, again, generous feeling. Malevolent is exact opposite of it. Mal, for example, maladministration. You've heard of maladministration. Administration is good administration, governing, and maladministration is governing in a bad manner. So mal is always meaning something bad. So benevolence, malevolence is the antonym of benevolence, which means in non-generous behavior, sort of. So yeah, next word, accumulation. Again, this is also fairly simple word. It means to collect or gather. The synonyms would be to store, to amass, preserve, to conserve. So sort of that. Antonyms would be scattering. You've heard of scattering of light in physics, I'm sure. So, scattering, dissipation, separation, division. So, these are all antonyms for accumulation. Accord. Accord also, again, legal, political legal word. So, it means an agreement, sort of. So, the again synonym would be agreement, harmony, consonance, unison. Unison is again from the word unity. Uni means to unite, unison, unity. All these unis. Uni is like, sort of, it means one. So unison, unity, united, meaning they're getting closer and they're becoming one. So they're coming on an agreement and becoming one, sort of that. Antonym would be again disagreement, denial, controversy, discord. So accord, you can remember like two guitar players saying the same, playing the same tune. Accord, like that. Accord is fairly simple words. I imagine you'll have heard of it so many times that you'll remember it. Abound. Abound means to exist in large number or amounts. So the synonyms would be to flourish, to swell, teem, plentiful. So teem here is not team. Please mind the spelling. It's teem. So to be teeming with something is to be full of that. So it's like in large number again. Okay. Antonyms would be to be deficient. For example, sometimes doctor tells you you have some vitamin deficiency. So to have some, so less of that thing. So deficient, destitute, again it means poverty, want, scarce. All these words are antonyms. Okay. Adamant. Now adamant means to be stubborn. So refusing to be persuaded or change one's mind. Another very good phrase, which is a synonym, is pig-headed. Somebody who is pig-headed is stubborn. He or she is not ready to change. So stubborn, obdurate, inflexible, rigid, not ready to change. So the antonym would clearly be flexible, soft, suppleness, tender, all these things. So Adam is more stubborn than a rock. Adamant, you can remember like that. That at somebody, there is somebody named Adam who's very like, who's like a rock. So adamant, not ready to move, just stubborn. The next word is abash, meaning to embarrass or to be ashamed. So the synonyms would be discouraged, embarrassed, confounded, decomposed. So I was abashed, or her unabashed approach. That means she was like very boldly following it. Now, what was one word that we learned that meant bold? What was that word? Just try to recall. I'm also trying to recall. What was that word? Bold. Haughtiness was one of the synonyms. What was the word that we did for bold? Nothing. I have also forgotten. The synonym was haughtiness and bold. Audacity. Right. If you want to go around in Audi in the city, you have to be bold. So yeah, audacity, right? Abash, antonym, so the antonym would be to encourage, uphold, embolden, hearten. So just try to recall the words like this. If you are able to recall it 2 3 times, they will be settled in your mind for a very long time. So the main game is for recalling. So, and just whatever mnemonics I'm trying to make, or whatever silly stupid ideas that I'm trying to weave along with the words, if you can remember them, you'll have something to uh, call, that some story that will make this recall easy. So just try to build stories around the words that I am not able to build, because I cannot make stories around each and every word. So I'll try to make some stories, and you try to make some stories, and we will become a storybook. I'm kidding, of course. Adjunct. Now, adjunct faculty or adjunct judges, you might have heard of this term again in other contexts, in newspapers or other legal contexts that you must be reading. So it means something added to something more important. So adjunct faculty is not the permanent faculty. That faculty is fulfilling for the faculty who's not coming or something like that. So they are something added to something more important. This is like of secondary importance, sort of that. So the synonym would be appendage, complement, addition, sort of joining. Okay. So sometimes new joinees are called joinees. Sometimes if they're not permanent and all, they're called joinees, just new joinees, sort of that, showing that they're not the primary important. Antonyms would be lessening, separation, subtraction, removal, sort of that. Adroit. Now, adroit means clever or skillful at using hands or mind. So you can remember adroit, it sounds like a drone, sort of like that. Somebody who's very good at handling the joysticks or the remote can fly the drone very well. So adroit is a person who's skillful in using hands or mind. So adroit is a clever person. Okay. So the synonyms would be proficient, expert, skillful, adept. And the antonyms would be inept, clumsy, somebody who's very, just you're just falling around, you're hitting at things, you're things are falling out of your hand. That person is called clumsy, unskilled, awkward. So these are the antonyms for the word adroit. Adroit, a drone. Very skillful in flying the drone. That means you're adroit. Okay, skillful or clever in using the hands or minds. Again, these silly stories are just for you to remember the word, and these are not like the real origins of the word. Please. Bustle. So, energetic activity or movement. Again, like the word abject used with poverty, the word bustle is often used with market, a bustling market or a railway station. Because the market is full of so many activities. A vendor is selling something, there are shopkeepers, there are people bargaining with something, buying something, walking around, just people talking to themselves. So many things are going on. So, it's a place with with a lot of energy, because so many different kinds of activities are going on in that one setting. So if you see it in a painting, even in a two-dimensional painting, you'll see a lot of activities going on. So it's very energetic activity, it's representing very energetic activity or movement. So bustle. So bustling market, you can remember it with market and you might be able to recall it. So again, when bustle is showing energy, the antonym would be slowness, sluggishness, quietness, inertness. Okay. So a bustling market or a bustling railway station. Similar scenario with a railway station. So many different activities going on. So energetic activity or movement. Bustle you can remember as whistle. So whistle has a very high pitch, very high energy. So bustle is high energy. Okay. I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but I don't know if you can remember. Brittle. Brittle means something that is easily broken or fragile. You might have heard of this word again in science, in metals and non-metals. Some metals are exceptional metals are brittle. Which are those exceptional metal? I hope these are sodium. I guess. Yeah. Meaning easily broken or fragile. So something that is fragile is very delicate. For example, when you're boarding when you drop your baggage at airports, you sometimes put a label of fragile on it. If something very delicate is there in your luggage, or you want it to be handled with care, you put a label of fragile on it. So brittle is fragile, frail, delicate, or breakable. The antonym would be tough, enduring, unbreakable, and strong. So yeah, the best example would be, if you want to put an image next to the word brittle, when you dip a biscuit in a tea, and it becomes very soft just before it's about to fall. That state is brittle. The best description of that state is brittle. The biscuit is brittle at that stage. Okay, brittle. Britannia biscuit brittle. Okay, that's a good image. Blemish. Blemish is a small mark or flaw. So it could mean fault or smirch, stigma, stain. If you have a blemished record, that means you've had a lot of marks in your record. You've done a lot of bad things. That means so many flaws in your record. So that's blemish is like a stain in a negative sense. Okay. The antonym, of course, would be purity, impeccable. Impeccable is something that is perfect. Impeccable record. That means you've never done anything wrong. Spotless. There is no spot. Stainless. I don't know. Stainless. Stainless is also again spotless. So yeah, distant antonym, but not the perfect one. So a chocolate stain on a white dress is a blemish. Blemish is mostly used in terms of purity, that a blemished record or unblemished record, something like that. Bleak. Now bleak means something very cold and empty and hopeless. The closest in meaning is hopeless. So um, she painted a very bleak scenario. Means she painted a very hopeless scenario. Bleak. So cold is also associated with bleak, because if you think of a cold, icy winter landscape, no greenery, nothing growing, that's also is a representation of a very hopeless scenario. So very hopeless. So the synonyms would be dismal, gloomy. Gloom is again very depressing. Chilly, dreary. Again, all these words mean very depressing sort of. Antonym would be bright, pleasant, balmy, cheerful. So for bleak, you can put an image of a like maybe a Canada, Russia, whatever, or Antarctica. Why to go there? Antarctica, like very like cold, white, hopeless scenario. So that's bleak. Bleak. Can you remember? Can we make a silly story out of it? I can't think of anything. Barbarous. Something brutal and uncivilized. Barbarous. So uncivilized, savage, untamed, brutal. For example, you might have heard in your history the barbarians, they invaded India time and again. It's often used for Central Asian tribes, the Mongols that invaded India, and uh, they ravaged the cities. They completely destroyed the cities. Ravage means they completely destroy something. They ravaged the cities. So they were barbarians. They were uncivilized. They had no value for human life. So they were savage, untamed. I mean, that's not the reality now. I mean, from a historical point of view, one can debate, but I'm just saying these things so you can remember, you can put a picture on it. Okay. Please don't hold me accountable for calling these tribes barbarous. They were called by some. I'm not calling them barbarous. So the antonym would be cultured, humane, refined, gentle. Even the Britishers called Indians barbarous, and they thought they are here on a civilizing mission. So barbarous. Uh, Now baffle. Baffle means is to confuse or to be perplexed. So the synonyms would be confound, frustrate, perplex. Again, the best synonym would be perplex. Antonym poised, composure, facilitate, cooperate. So if you're baffled by something, you're like really confused about it. That I'm baffled by this behavior of yours. I was not expecting this. So baffled. Baffled, baffled, baffled. Can we make any story? Yeah, think of something. Convert. Again, it's a fairly simple word. You know what convert means: to change into a different form, to change, transform, proselytize. Proselytize is usually, for example, in Christianity, there is this practice of trying to preach their religion and converting people into Christianity. That's proselytization. Antonyms would be persist, maintain, enduring, perpetual. That all these words mean persisting. That means just staying in that state and not ready to change. So those are antonyms for the word convert. Convenient, very simple word again, easy and suitable for a purpose. It The synonyms would be handy, suited, comfortable, advantageous. The antonym would be unsuitable, tedious, impractical, fatiguing. Something fatiguing means something that is like tiring, something that is making you feel tired because it's so inconvenient. So fatiguing. Contrary, again fairly simple word. On contrary, when you say on contrary to the situation, contrary to the situation means in opposite to the situation. Contrary means opposite in nature. So the synonyms would be dissimilar because similar means same, sort of same, not exactly same, but sort of same. Dissimilar, conflicting, contradictory, or opposite. The antonyms would be similar, alike, homogeneous. Homogeneous is, again, you might have come across this word in science. Homo means similar. For example, heterosexual is sexuality, or heterosexual couple is a male and female. A homosexual couple is a couple of the same gender, male male or female female. So homo means same, similar. So homogeneous is again reflecting the meaning similar. Resembling, again, similar. Contradict, again, it's very similar to contrary, to express the opposite of a statement. So if I am saying you should study every day, and you're saying no, studying only in the last month also works to clear the exam, you're contradicting my statement. So you're expressing the opposite statement. So the synonyms would be to impugn, to deny, to oppose, to confront, and the antonym would be to approve, confirm, sanction, endorse. To endorse something is to uh, give your sort of certification that okay, I'm endorsing this. That means I am also saying I also stand with this. Sort of that. That's endorsement. For example, the actors when they do ads, advertisements for some brand, it's called brand endorsement because they are standing with that brand. So that's endorsement. It's the antonym of contradict. Okay. Now, because it felt like it was getting boring, so we have brought some MCQ type questions. So now we'll look at these questions. Which of the words is closest in the meaning to the word provided? Remote. It's not the TV remote we're talking about, neither the AC remote or the any remote of that kind. What is remote? After pandemic, I think remote jobs has become the buzzword. So you guys know what the remote means. Distant. Remote job is when you're not located in the place of job and you're doing it from, say, your home or from a distant location. So distant. Savage, we did this word before when we were doing the word barbarous. Okay, so the savage means fierce, violent, or uncontrolled, sort of barbarous. Okay, mean, you know what mean is. Oh, you're so mean if you're making me tell you again and again the same thing. No, I've not told you what mean is. It means unkind or unpleasant. So it could mean that. I mean, there is also mean in the maths, which means average to find mean of something. So mean, median, mode, that mean. But here in non-mathematical terms, it means unkind or unpleasant. Which of these words is closest in meaning to the word detest? Again, detest also we've done before. What does it mean? To hate, to like it's repelled by something, you detest by it. To argue means which you cannot do in a recorded lecture, which I do not like really. Sometimes arguments are good. It gets you to discover new things, to see other person's perspective. So to disagree verbally or fight with words, that's argument. Discover is again to find something new. Reveal, to make something known that was hidden. So detest means to hate. What does the word gracious mean? Pretty, clever, pleasant, or present? It means pleasant. I graciously accepted the offer to teach English because I very pleasantly accepted the offer. Gracious is like you sometimes it is said for the guests, they graced the presence. They graced this event by their presence. That mean it grace, gracious, grace, marks, all those words they have a positive meaning, pleasant. Okay, predict. This is fairly simple. Foretell, decide, prevent, discover. Foretell, to to, for example, fortune teller, they predict your future, they tell in advance what's going to happen in future. So that, I think, decide, prevent, and discover are fairly simple. In the legal terms, I you might have heard of this word, who is the next of kin of this person, something like that. So a relative. Kin is a relative. What does the word exult means? To show great happiness or triumph. Somebody was exalted by some event. So that person was really happy, felt triumphant. Like you can just remember as very happy, exalt. Kin means relative. Next of kin is like who's your closest next relative. Okay. Pensive. What does the word pensive means? Oppressed, caged, thoughtful, or happy? Pensive. Mm, thoughtful. So pensive comes from the Latin word pensare, that means to weigh or consider. So a pensive person is one who weighs their thoughts. So pensive. So you're a person of, like, you use pen to write first and then you act. You're very thoughtful. You like write your thoughts using a pen. Pensive, something like that. You're using pen to write your thoughts. You're thoughtful. You can remember like that, like a silly story. Pensive, thoughtful. Oppressed, subject to harsh treatment or control. For example, the slaves were oppressed by their masters, so they were subjected to harsh treatment. Pensive, writing your thoughts with pen, thoughtful. Which of these words is closest in meaning to the word banish? Banish. Um, say the Khap Panchayat banished the couple from the village. What would that mean? To exile somebody, to send somebody away from their home or country as a punishment. So, Khap Panchayat banished the couple, so they banned the couple from entering the village. That would be banished, to exile. Fraud. Come on, you all know fraud. Lawyers banna hai, so you guys have to know what fraud is. Fraud is an imposter, a person pretending to be someone else to deceive. Malcontent. So let's try to understand these meanings of the word in the option also. Malcontent, like I told you, the word mal is always negative. So some sort of negative thing. A person who is not satisfied with the situation or complains, somebody who's always complaining about it. That would be malcontent. Malcontent, I am not sure that's what it means. I will have to get back to you on this word. I'm not sure about it. Imposter. Imposter is a person who's pretending to be someone else to deceive. So you can remember the word such as imposter. Somebody's put a poster on it and like drawn a different person. So pretending to be someone else. Imposter. With a poster on the face. Pretending to be this poster person and not the revealing the reality. Okay. The person posing as doctor turned out to be an imposter, a fraud. Like imposter is again a very frequently used word in the newspapers. Saccharine. Saccharine also, if you've had a background in chemistry, you must have come across this word, saccharine. It means sweet. The word comes from saccharum, Latin for sugar. It is both literally taste and figuratively for overly sweet behavior. So saccharine is also uh, literally means sugar because of its Latin origins, and it also means for like overly sweet behavior, like saccharine smile. That means like too smile, like diabetes causing smile. Can remember like that. Saccharine, shakkar, sugar, something like that. Which of the words is closest in meaning to the word drag? So even though I was working all night, I dragged myself to finish my other assignment. I did not, but I couldn't think of any other statement. So dragged, to pull myself. Like I was like, oh, I have to do this. This is my assignment. This is the deadline. I have to do this. Drag yourself, to pull yourself. Okay. Jovial. What does the word jovial means? Incredulous, merry, revolting, dizzy. Jovial. I am demonstrating a jovial behavior. I am very happy. I mean, a merry behavior, sort of that. So the word jovial comes from the word Jove, which means Jupiter, the Roman king of gods. A jovial person is once thought to be born under Jupiter's lucky influence. So basically, jovial means happy, merry kind of person. What does the word incredulous means? It means unable to believe something. That's incredulous. It's also some sort of innocent. You can remember it as innocent. Dizzy, though you again must be knowing, I'm feeling dizzy. It's like sort of lightheaded or unsteady feeling. I sometimes we say that I'm feeling dizzy in my head, so feeling slightly unsteady. Which of the following words is closest in meaning to the word modest? Modest is also something you might have heard in legal terminology, attacking the modesty of women, something like that. What does it mean? Attractive, clever, current, humble. Modest means humble. So, in the legal context, slightly far-fetched relation, but it means like modesty is dignity, sort of. It's attacking the dignity of a women, something like that. So, modest behavior is humble. If you are scoring, say, 98, 99 out of 100, and yet when someone says, "Oh, you're so intelligent," and you're like, "No, no, no, I'm just average," you're just being modest. So, you're being humble. So, that's modest. Simulate. What does the word simulate means? Excite, imitate, trick, ape like. Simulate means to imitate. Simulate, imitate. They sound very similar. Copy or replicate something. So, for example, the pilots for their training, they have simulations of the real flight experience, and they train flying on that, because for training they cannot be given aeroplanes just to practice. No, so say they practice on simulations. That is a real experience, sort of. It's computerized and it gives a real life flying experience. So simulation, that's exact what simulation is, but it can also means to imitate, to copy or replicate something. So that's the pilots are trained using a machine that simulates real life condition. Charisma. So charisma means host, force, charm, or courage. Ka se charisma, ka se courage. No, sorry. Charisma means charm. So starting of the word char, it gives away the meaning charm, magnetic attractiveness or influence. So charisma is most often used for leaders. For example, Mr. Modi's charisma, or Putin's charisma. So these are all charismatic leaders. They have a magnetic attractiveness or influence in their personality. So from Greek word charisma, meaning gift of grace, once thought to be a divine power or spiritual blessing. So in old times, so they have whatever they believe. So charisma, from the spelling itself, you can see charm. So somebody's influence or charm, charisma. Somebody who can be captured in camera, charisma camera. Charisma camera, does it sound like camera? Something is so nice, you put a click picture of it, charisma camera. I don't know. If it works, you can remember. If it does not, just abort it. I mean, no, abort is not app, but something like that. Just quit. Don't use that story then. Portion. Portion. You see the word portion in it. Does it ring a bell? So does it mean divide, decide, cut, squabble? It means to divide. Portion. In the word itself, there is a portion. So you reach to a portion of something when you divide it. So you can remember the word a portion as divide. What does the option D, squabble means? Squabble means a minor fight or an argument. That's squabble. Okay. With this, we have come to an end of this section. This is first part of the synonym antonyms topic. We will do one more video on this, because these aren't the like number of words. These are not even close to the number of words that you need to cover. We'll do one more video that would also not be covering all the words, but we'll try to do some more, and we'll try to develop some root words also along with those. So thank you so much for your attention, and I'll see you again with the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.